Welcome, friends, to the Soul Talk podcast, a show where we explore and uncover the path to the heart, amplifying your conscience. Join me as we meet incredible souls who are in this journey and learn from their experience and different methods that will make you vibrate your heart. Let's get into it. Hello, everyone. This is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love, and you're in Soul Talk podcast. Thank you for being here. And today we have a happiness expert, and I believe this is so needed right now in the world. And her name, it is Angie Langley.
Langley, yes.
And thank you for being here. This is so important to actually for the whole world have an expert in happiness. And you tell us a little bit about your background, who you are, how you got there as a happiness expert?
Well, it came by accident. I came from a very traumatic childhood and, a difficult adulthood. And I got to the point in my life where I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what my purpose was. I just knew that there was something more. But I was just so low that I didn't even want to be here anymore. And I've had some near-death experiences. So I was going to work one day. I used to be a home support worker, and I would travel to all the clients. So I went on my way to my first client. There was this big, huge 18-wheeler coming towards me. He was in the middle of the road, and there was no way I could get around him. No way. And he wasn't even moving over. He didn't even see me. And here I drove a great big half-ton truck. So I don't know how in the world he couldn't see me, but he couldn't see me. And I was like, well, if I'm going to meet my maker, today's the day. And I put my foot on the gas, and I don't remember a thing. Not a thing until after I looked in my side mirror, and the truck was behind me, and it was still in the middle of the road. So I'm like, okay, I'm still here for a reason. I just got to find out what it is. And of course, I've been healing myself. I've been learning techniques. I've been with experts. I've been using my skills to improve them and to make them stronger. And as I was healing myself, I've had family and friends coming to me and saying, well, this is happening to me. What can I do? I'm like, well, this is what I used to do, or this is what I do. And they would do it. And then they would just keep coming back and coming back. And then I had a woman, she goes, you've changed my life. She said, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be who I am right now. And I was like, well, how many more people can I do that for? So now I'm the happiness expert. So yeah, it kind of evolved. And I found my purpose now.
Do you study something like coaching, NLP, or something?
I specialize in intuitive healing, energy healing, and trauma healing. And I do have a Facebook group and with a whole bunch of women in there that I teach every week. And I have a happiness blueprint that I help women go through to get rid of their sadness and their darkness and to find their happiness so they can live their life they've always dreamed of. So
someone the other day asked me, okay, what it means being happy. And because I understand that, yes, for everybody's happiness, it is different. But there should be some basis of the commonality. What it is happiness. What it is happiness.
And happiness, the basics of it,
yes,
is to have the freedom. Sorry, I'm all crooked up. To be able to choose the life that you want. and not have something holding you back, not keeping you in that box, to actually have that freedom to live and to grow.
And forgive yourself and love yourself. And
yes, yeah. And a lot of women don't do that. They don't forgive themselves. And one of the things that I do on my lives in my group is I give them little exercises to do to kind of help them with, like, I have women in there who have anxiety, who have faced trauma that you would not even believe. And I just show them little things to help them get through. And one of the things that I teach them is like, I was so down and I was so low that I couldn't even look in my mirror, look myself in the eye and tell myself I love me. I could not do it. And I tried, and I could not look myself in the eye and say, I love you. And it took me months and months and months before I could actually do that.
Yes,
so I get the women in my group to do that, right? And some of them can't do it. They just can't.
Because they're carrying guilt and shame and blame, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you work with them in a way? Because the exercise of the mirror is one of them. What other exercises you work with them?
Oh, I have a blueprint. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I show you?
Yes, please do.
Okay. So this here is my happiness blueprint. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's 3 levels. There's the triage, the tools, and transform. And each level has 3 steps. So the triage is the assessment, the alignment, and the awakening. And this is the fundamental part of, like, this is where you actually get clarity on what you want in your life and to give you the confidence to move forward. Okay. So, like, in the assessment part, have you ever watched like a medical show?
Yes.
Like Grey's Anatomy or something? And you know how they have an emergency and the doctors and the nurses are all rushing around trying to figure out what they need to fix first?
Yeah.
Well, this is what we do in the assessment part. And then once we have clarity on what needs to be fixed, we get you to dream and get you in alignment with your dream life. So what would your dream life look like? So you map that out. And then in the awakening part, we find out exactly what is holding you back from this dream life. Like, do you procrastinate sometimes?
Oh, yes, I believe everybody do. Some
Do
people
you doubt
do it
yourself?
more than often. I try not to do it often, but I still do.
Yeah, we all do.
Yes.
But some of them aren't aware. So in the awakening part, we get rid of that. You become aware of what is holding you back and what is making you procrastinate and what making you doubt yourself, right? Yeah. And so when you get here, you get up to the tools. So we work on your toolbox. Okay. And then we educate you on these tools, like a hammer, for instance, right? You can use a hammer to smash those limiting beliefs. You can use a wrench, which will loosen up those embedded emotions that are trapped inside your body that is making you sick and depressed. Right? And then once we get that up to the surface, we get over here to the experiment where we use the power tools. So we get this power saw out, right? And we're cutting away that sadness and we're cutting away that baggage, right? Because it's heavy and it's weighing you down. And so when we get to cutting that all off, like, you're feeling amazing. You're feeling so much lighter and you're just floating and elevating, right? So we get over here to elevate, where we get in control of your emotions so that you can elevate up here to the transform. And this is where all the magic begins, is up here. And so we get into the buffer. And the buffer is where you realize all of the changes that are happening inside of you. So you'll be more confident, more powerful, more self-assured. And you are starting to shine your light here, right? So we're buffering away all that old darkness that is stuck on you, right? So you can shine your light. So you can start attracting the things that you want over here in the barrier. So if you want more money, more opportunities are going to come into your energy, come to you. And all that worry and all that struggle is going to go fade away. You want that relationship, that loving relationship. It's going to come. And that negative, toxic relationship, it's going to go.
Something that I was talking a few days ago with a client, it was about that, okay, you want $1 million, but you don't think you deserve it. It's not going to happen. It doesn't matter how many affirmations you do a day and so forth. You need to first knowing that you're worth it, that you deserve it. And then you can imagine living that. What would you do with $1 million? How will it feel in your body? So it is very similar what you're in a way you're talking about, because you're working with that you deserve it and you're worth it. Correct?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So once we get up here, we want to keep you here. We don't want you to go back down to being depressed and sick. And right? So we give you strong boundaries so you can protect yourself. Right? Because we don't want that toxic relationship coming back, right? We don't want that struggle and overwhelm coming back, right? No.
That is so important.
It is, yeah. And this is all the stuff that I had to learn to be where I'm at right now.
Then you create that program.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
So you can't teach what you don't know, right?
Yes. And we teach by and the best teachers are the ones that we teach about our own experience.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't need a PhD. You just need someone with experience that have been there.
Yes. It's very hard to teach someone that something that you have never had passed through. Because you can understand and you can have the empathy and understand the other person's pain because you've been there.
Yes. Yeah. And me being an empath, I can feel people's emotions.
Yes.
I can read their energies. I read pictures. When I have a client telling me, this is what happened today and why can't I get over it? And I can actually see the root cause of like when it happened. So it could be something from a childhood that happened. But I had a woman one time, she said her sister-in-law was, triggering her and she didn't know why. But it was a self-worth issue that she had when she was a child. Yeah. So, and she was like, oh, that makes so much sense now. So I can actually see the age of when this happens. So they can actually go back to and then fix that.
Those aha moments are the ones that are so transformative. You're like, oh my God, yes, I remember that when that happened. I was 3 or 4 or 15 or whatever age it was.
Yeah, and some people don't want to live there. They don't want to go back there. But you have to be aware of it to bring it up, to release it. Because you're not that person anymore. You're not that little girl anymore that's been hurt and traumatized.
And this time you can be the observer. You don't have to live it. You don't have to feel it again, but you can observe it.
Exactly.
So it's going to be less painful.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to get rid of. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is so important. I have one of the in the last Podapalooza, I interviewed someone that he was a coach of laughing,
Oh,
and
nice.
uh, and that was very very interesting because also that can change your vibration, can change your way of thinking and feeling,
Hmm.
and that. So you use any kind of techniques like that?
Yeah, I work with energy a lot.
Yeah.
Um, I do use conventional methods too, but I put the energetic twist to it. So when people come to me, I had a woman, she was a client. When COVID hit, she didn't leave her house for 2 years.
Yeah.
She had anxiety so bad and depression so bad that
Hmm.
she actually had to force herself to go in to see her therapist. And she said most of the time she just called and canceled because she couldn't leave her house.
Yeah.
And after working with me, um, she is my little Miss Social Butterfly. Like her looks have changed. Like she's not dark, she's not heavy, right? She's so much lighter. And when I take pictures, like we do Zoom meetings, and I take a screenshot of the first day that they're with me, and then I take a screenshot of them now, and the transformation is amazing. Like they don't even realize it. I had a woman there. She just started with me a month ago, right? And you know how some older women kind of have that turkey neck, right? No. She was like, we were having a meeting last week and she was looking and she's like, oh my gosh, look at my neck. You know, I don't have that turkey neck anymore. But it was just so much of that stress and pressure started coming off that she was just feeling lighter. She was standing up straighter and she just
Yeah.
felt amazing.
Because when you're happy, you're gonna project that outside because you're feeling the happiness inside of you or the
Exactly.
love for yourself. Then you can
Yeah.
project it outside.
Yeah.
Yes, if people wants to feel younger or lose weight or look whatever, they have to
Just
do
be
their
happy.
work. Yes, yes,
That is true. Yeah. Yeah. Because it doesn't matter what you look like or what size you are, you can still feel good about yourself.
yes.
You can still be happy.
It is learning to love yourself as you are.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, that is very important. And you tell me that you have also a program that you work with people. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, that was the blueprint that I
Yes,
have. Yeah. So this
but you
is the 12-month program that I put people through to help them. And yeah, because I take them from their sadness and give them their happiness in 1 year. And a lot of people say, well, how can I do that in 1 year? Or, like 1 year is a long time. But you have to realize that they've had this trauma and they've had this overwhelm and this loss for years.
yeah,
And sometimes it's generational, sometimes it's past life.
hmm
Yeah.
I,
So I think a year is pretty good.
and you have it in Facebook, in a group in Facebook, correct?
Yes, I go in there and I teach some of the little basics of what I do. I bring awareness to what people are feeling. And because a lot of people don't realize, they have all these unexplained symptoms
Hmm.
and the doctors don't know what's wrong.
Hmm.
They have no idea. And because I had a woman come to me one day and I was she just wanted me to do the lip method on her. And I said, okay. So when I got to her reproductive area, I was like, what's going on with your ovaries? Like, you know, is there something wrong there? Have you had and she's like, no, nothing's wrong. She said, we've been trying to have a baby. We've had tests done. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with my husband. They have no idea what is wrong, why I can't have a baby. So I went and I unblocked it because it was something in there from her like a generation ago. And so I took that energy out and I reboosted everything. And now she has a little girl that is a year old. She got pregnant 2 days after I did the method on her. Yeah.
That is so
So,
cool.
yeah. So I kind of tell people, well, yeah, I helped a woman get pregnant. And they're like, what?
I know. It is hard when you're dealing with people that wanted to is open at least to working with energy workers and things like that. It'd make it easier for them to actually to understand what we're talking about. The
Yeah.
majority of our listeners in my podcast, they're open to that energy, working with energy, or at least to all this woo-woo part. But when you're talking with people that are not they're close-minded and things like that, they will not understand what you're talking about.
No. And when they come to me, they don't care. They're at that point in their lives where they're ready to do just about anything.
Yes.
Because that's when they come to me, is when they kind of give up and they're just like, well, it's just, I got to do something. I'm at my wit's end.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is so true. It's been really, really my pleasure to talk to you. Do you have something else that you would like to say before we close?
You deserve to be happy.
Yes,
Everyone deserves to be happy.
I agree. I agree with that one. We all do.
Yes, we do.
Thank you so much, Angie. I really appreciate it.
Thank
And
you.
and to all our listeners, if you wanted to be happy, there is an expert in happiness here. So I'm gonna leave her information down below in this podcast. So like that you can contact her and you can register in her class. That she do for 1 year, like she mentioned, and she can help you to become happy. Thank you so much, and please share it with your friends. Thank you very much with everybody. This is Monica Ramirez, Warrior of Love, and thank you for being in Soul Talk. Welcome, friends, to the Soul Talk podcast, a show where we explore and uncover the path to the heart, amplifying your conscience. Join me as we meet incredible souls who are in this journey and learn from their experience and different methods that will make you vibrate your heart. Let's get into it.